3 o'clock in the morning. The house is quiet, but you are awake because your stomach still feels heavy. You did not have a huge dinner. In fact, you may have left half the plate unfinished. But hours later, you still feel full, maybe bloated, maybe a little nauseated, and you find yourself wondering, why am I getting full so quickly now? The next day, it happens again. You sit down to eat, and after just a few bites, your body seems to say, that's enough. You may still enjoy the food. You may even feel hungry before the meal starts. But once you begin eating, fullness arrives much sooner than it used to. So you push the plate away and tell yourself, maybe my appetite is just smaller now. For many adults after 60, that explanation feels reasonable. People often say, I just don't eat as much as I used to, or I'm older now, so I need less food. Sometimes that is true. Appetite can change with age. Activity levels change. Routines change. Food may not taste quite the same. Meals may naturally become smaller. But here's what many people miss. Feeling full too fast is not the same thing as simply having a smaller appetite. A smaller appetite means you may not feel as hungry. Early fullness is different. You may want to eat. You may sit down expecting to finish a normal meal. But after a few bites, your stomach feels full much earlier than it used to. If that happens, once after a heavy meal, it may not mean much. But if it is new, repeated, getting worse, or showing up with weight loss, nausea, vomiting, bloating, trouble swallowing, bowel changes, weakness or fatigue, it is worth paying attention to. This video is for education only. It is not a diagnosis, and it is not a treatment plan. If feeling full after only a small amount of food is new, persistent, or worsening, especially if it comes with unintended weight loss, vomiting, severe abdominal pain, black stools, blood in vomit or stool, trouble swallowing, dehydration signs, fever, fainting, excessive thirst, frequent urination, or symptoms that are new or getting worse, talk with a qualified healthcare professional. And if you take prescription medicines, over-the-counter medicines, vitamins, or supplements, do not stop or change them on your own. A safer step is to bring the pattern to your doctor or pharmacist and ask what may be contributing. Before we talk about what to watch for, it helps to understand why this signal can matter more after 60. Eating is not just about hunger. A meal involves smell, taste, chewing, saliva, swallowing, stomach comfort, digestion, bowel habits, medications, mood, energy, and routine. When one part of that chain changes, a person may start eating less without realizing how much has changed. After 60, that can matter because the body still needs enough nutrients to support strength, balance, energy, healing, and independence. Some older adults may need fewer calories than they did when they were younger. But needing fewer calories is not the same as struggling to eat enough. There is a difference between choosing a smaller portion and feeling unable to finish food because fullness arrives too soon. That difference is important. If you prefer smaller meals and your weight, strength, energy, and daily function are stable, that may be one situation. But if you're eating less because your body feels full after a few bites, and then you begin losing weight, feeling weaker, skipping meals, or avoiding foods, that becomes a pattern worth discussing. One possible piece of the story is digestion. Some people who feel full too quickly also notice nausea, bloating, burping, upper belly discomfort, heartburn, or the feeling that food sits there long after a meal. These symptoms can overlap with indigestion-like patterns. They may also raise questions about how food is moving through the stomach. That does not mean you should diagnose yourself. It simply means the pattern gives your healthcare professional useful information. The timing, the symptoms around it, and whether it is changing your eating habits all matter. Ask yourself, do I feel full after a few bites or only after a full meal? Does fullness last for hours? Is it worse with certain foods? Does it come with bloating, nausea, vomiting, or upper belly discomfort? Does it happen every day or only occasionally? Did it begin after an illness, surgery, new medication, or change in routine? Those details can help separate a passing upset stomach from a repeated body signal. Medications and supplements deserve special attention. Many adults after 60 take more than one prescription medication, and many also use over-the-counter products, vitamins, herbal products, or supplements. Some medicines can affect appetite, nausea, digestion, taste, dry mouth, alertness, or how the stomach feels after eating. Some products can also interact with other medicines, foods, drinks, or alcohol. That does not mean a medicine is bad. It does not mean you should stop taking it. It means timing matters. If early fullness began after a new medication, a dose change, a new supplement, or a change in how you take something, that is worth mentioning to your doctor or pharmacist. A useful question is not, which pill is causing this? A safer question is, could anything on my full medication and supplement list be contributing to appetite changes, nausea, digestion changes, early fullness, or weight loss? There is also the simple issue of eating becoming harder. Some people say they feel full too fast, but underneath that phrase, something else may be happening. Maybe chewing is uncomfortable. Maybe dentures do not fit well. Maybe the mouth feels dry. Maybe food takes more effort than it used to. Maybe meat, vegetables, dry foods, or pills are harder to manage. Over time, meals may become smaller, not because the person truly feels satisfied, but because eating has quietly become work. Swallowing is another clue that should not be ignored. If food feels stuck, if you cough or choke while eating, if liquids seem to go down the wrong way, if you clear your throat often during meals, or if eating takes much longer than it used to, that should be discussed with a healthcare professional. Swallowing problems can make it harder to take in enough food and fluids, and they are not something to handle with guesswork. Taste and smell can change too. Food may seem bland. Favorite meals may not feel appealing. A person may eat less because meals no longer bring the same satisfaction. Sometimes this may be related to aging. Sometimes it may be related to medicines, dry mouth, dental problems, illness, or other factors. The point is not to label the cause on your own. The point is to notice what changed. Mood and social routine also matter. Appetite is not separate from life. Grief, stress, loneliness, depression symptoms, eating alone, or losing the habit of regular meals can all change how much a person eats. Someone may not feel hungry, may get full quickly, or may simply stop preparing balanced meals because the effort feels too high. None of this is a character flaw. It is health information. There is one detail that changes how you should think about early fullness. Is it changing your nutrition over time? If you feel full too fast once in a while, that may happen to many people. But if it causes you to regularly leave most of your food, skip meals, lose weight, feel weak, or avoid normal activities, it becomes more important. Early fullness can matter because it may reduce how much nutrition you take in day after day. This is where weight becomes part of the story. Unintended weight loss after 60 should not be brushed off, especially when it happens along with early fullness. A lower numbers on the scale is not always good news if it comes with weakness, fatigue, poor appetite, dizziness, slower walking, more near falls, or less ability to do daily tasks. The question is not just, am I eating less? The better question is this change affecting my strength, energy, and independence? Blood sugar clues may also belong in the conversation. If early fullness or appetite change appears with excessive thirst, frequent urination, blurry vision, extreme fatigue, slow healing cuts, or tingling in the hands or feet, it is worth discussing with a healthcare professional. Those symptoms do not mean you should diagnose yourself, but they may be part of a larger pattern your doctor will want to understand. Bowel changes should also be described clearly. New constipation, ongoing diarrhea, black stools, blood in the stool, abdominal pain, vomiting, or a major change in bowel habits can be important details. They do not prove one cause, but they help show what else is happening in the digestive system. One common mistake is assuming I'm just getting older, so I eat less now. Aging may change appetite, but new early fullness is still worth noticing. Another mistake is trying to cover the problem with nutrition shakes or supplements without asking why food suddenly feels hard to finish. Those products may be appropriate for some people in some situations, but they should not replace a medical conversation when early fullness is new, persistent, or linked to weight loss. A third mistake is leaving out uncomfortable details. Some people do not want to mention nausea, bowel changes, trouble swallowing, poor appetite, loneliness, or difficulty cooking. But these details help. A good healthcare conversation depends on the real story, not the polished version. The key is to notice the pattern. Start with the meals. How much can you eat now compared with a few months ago? Do you feel full after a few bites, halfway through the meal, or only at the end? Does fullness come with bloating, nausea, burping, heartburn, or upper belly discomfort? Do you feel full long after eating? Then look at your weight. Are your clothes looser? Has your belt changed? Has the scale dropped without trying? Has anyone else noticed? Is the weight loss gradual, sudden, or continuing? Then look at eating barriers. Are you chewing comfortably? Are your dentures fitting well? Do you have dry mouth? Does food taste different? Do you cough when eating? Does food feel stuck? Are you avoiding certain foods because they are hard to swallow? Then look at timing. Did this begin after a new medicine, a dose change, a new supplement, illness, surgery, dental problem, grief, travel, or a major change in routine? Timing often gives your doctor or pharmacist the first useful clue. And finally, look at strength and function. Are you weaker than before? More tired? More dizzy? Less steady? Having near falls or falls? Struggling more with stairs, groceries, cooking, or getting out of a chair? Early fullness matters more when it begins to affect daily life. A simple written note can make your doctor visit much more useful. You do not need a complicated food diary. Just write down when the early fullness started, how often it happens, whether you are eating less, whether you're losing weight, whether you feel nauseated or bloated, whether you vomit, whether swallowing has changed, whether bowel habits changed, and whether any medication or supplement changed around the same time. When you speak with your doctor, be specific. Instead of saying, "My appetite is smaller," you might say, "I feel full after a few bites, and this has been happening for 3 weeks." Or, "I want to eat, but I feel full too quickly." Or, "I've lost weight without trying." Or, Food feels like it sticks, or this started after a new medication, or I feel full, bloated, and nauseated after small meals. Those details help your healthcare professional decide what to ask next. They may want to review your medicines, ask about nausea or reflux-like symptoms, discuss swallowing or dental issues, look at weight changes, ask about bowel habits, consider blood sugar or thyroid-related clues, or decide whether further evaluation is appropriate. There are warning signs that deserve prompt medical attention. Feeling full after a few bites should be discussed if it is new, persistent, or getting worse. Seek care sooner if it comes with unintended weight loss, repeated vomiting, severe or constant abdominal pain, sudden sharp stomach pain that does not go away, black or tarry stools, blood in vomit or stool, trouble swallowing, choking, fever, difficulty breathing, fainting, extreme weakness, or signs of dehydration, such as extreme thirst, dark urine, urinating much less than usual, or feeling lightheaded. Also mention early fullness that appears with excessive thirst, frequent urination, blurry vision, unexplained weight change, medication changes, dizziness when standing, near falls, or new weakness. These may not all have the same cause, but together they give a fuller picture of what your body is doing. The purpose of this message is not fear, it is awareness. Feeling full too fast after 60 is not a diagnosis, it is information. It may be related to digestion, appetite, medications, supplements, taste, smell, chewing, swallowing, mood, blood sugar clues, bowel changes, or another health issue your doctor may want to evaluate. The safest response is not to panic and not to guess. The safest response is to notice the pattern early and bring clear information to a qualified professional. This video is for education only and should not replace medical care. If early fullness is new, persistent, worsening, or comes with weight loss, nausea, vomiting, bloating, severe pain, black stools, blood in vomit or stool, trouble swallowing, fever, fainting, dehydration signs, excessive thirst, frequent urination, medication changes, near falls, or symptoms that concern you, talk with a qualified healthcare professional. Do not stop or change medications or supplements on your own. A smaller appetite after 60 may be common, but feeling full too fast is a pattern worth watching. And when you understand the pattern, you can ask better questions, protect your nutrition, and support the strength and independence that matter in everyday life.